Okay, are we live again? Oh man, come on back in, friends, and let me know when you get here. That wasn't fun. Yeah, thanks, Ramnet. That's our school Wi-Fi. Let me know again if you can hear me, so I can make sure that doesn't happen again. Okay, but now that that's all sorted out, somebody who was in the last stream, if somebody can tell me what the last thing was that you guys heard before I cut out. Or actually, you know what? I might just go back, start talking about the music again. Do 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 do. Okay, so let's try this again. I'll go back to. Let me go back to the beginning of this music. So, okay, looking at the music. General notes. Key of concert F. Check your key signature. Make sure you know what accidentals we need. We're in cut time. That's 2-2. Half note gets the beat. Listen to the click track. That will help you. Take a look. So, and the piece is a march. A lot of unspoken rules. First and foremost, we want to keep those notes nice and short. So even if they're not marked staccato or marcato, we want to have space between the notes. If we're looking at the first phrase, if you were to play it exactly how it's written, it would sound like da, 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 da. What we're looking for is we want those notes to be nice and crisp. Da, 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 da. Difference, keep that space in there. We want that nice marcato accent on those notes. Another unspoken rule, we really want to be playing on the front end of the beat. What I mean by that, you want to anticipate the beat. If you're listening to the metronome and waiting for each click, you're going to be late. The MIDI and the click track does not do a good job demonstrating that, which is why I encourage you all to listen to the Marine Band recording of this piece. And this is going to be especially important for percussion and anyone who plays at any point. And that's you. Make sure we're really staying on top of that beat. Taking a look now at the actual music. If you read the program notes, you'll see that it divides this piece into 6 sections. We've got the introduction, the first strain, the second strain, the trio, the break strain, and the final strain. Starting with the introduction, that's measures 1 through 4. Not much to say here other than make sure you exaggerate that crescendo. We want to start loud, yes, but we want to really be able to hear the difference between forte and fortissimo. And as the program notes say, cymbals, you can let everything ring except for the last note, which is beat 1 of measure 4. The cymbal choke was something I couldn't really get the MIDI to reflect. So if you're playing that part, really be aware of that. In general, percussion, you know, the pain I went through to get your MIDI to be listenable. And I'm sorry if I got through all of this stuff already in part 1. I don't know where it cut out. But moving on to the first strain, that's measure 5 to 36. Percussion, I should have mentioned already, we want to be playing the Marine Band version of your part, not the original version. So you can ignore that top line completely. For everybody, when we get to measure 19 to 20, we want to be full on fortissimo. Again, make sure you can tell the difference from the mezzo forte we just played. Fortissimo should be about as loud as you can play and still sound good. If you have that octave slur in measure 19 and 20, try to put a little bit of a downward swoop on it if you can. Damn. If you're to listen to it in the MIDI, it sounds like damn. So get a little bit more of that damn. I know that's hard to do when you're not a trombone player, but see what you can do with it. And percussion in measure 21, where the phrase starts to repeat. It's marked fortissimo, but maybe bring it down just a hair. Second strain, measure 37 to 68. A lot of you rest at the beginning of this. The rest of us, we're still fortissimo. However, the melody is in the trumpets, so if that's not you, back off just a hair. Trumpets, you can ignore the option rings, play it how you normally would. E-flat trumpet, again, if anybody actually decides to do that part, you do not need to play the first trumpet cues. Snare drum, I'm hoping you know more about stick clicks than I do. That's another thing I couldn't get the MIDI to reflect, but I would like it played with those stick clicks. When everyone else comes back in at measure 53, trumpets still have their same melody, but now we have two counter melodies coming in. Low voices, a lot of them are marked with 3Fs. We want that line nice and strong, but make sure we're not overblowing. High voices, those of you who come in with da 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 da, that line, you can keep that nice and strong as well, but because your part is higher, it'll come through no matter what. So maybe think forte instead of fortissimo. All right, getting into the trio, we're now looking at pick up to measure 69 through measure 86. Probably the most confusing dynamic marking on this music, so pay attention. The first time through, we want to play mezzo piano. When we repeat this phrase, the second time through, we want to play pianissimo. Now, yes, pianissimo is very soft, but make sure you can still be heard and be careful not to let go of your air support. Some of you may have the word tacit in your music there. That means don't play. So if you play piccolo, E-flat at trumpet or cymbals, you are completely out until we get to measure 87. Trombones, you're also not going to play this part except you play your part at the first and second endings only. Snare drum and bass drum, you will play the first time only and drop out on the repeat. All right, break strain, measure 87 to 101. Everyone is now playing as written. Trumpets, keep everything nice and short. Everyone take a look at measure 100 to 101. The first time through, we will be decrescendoing to mezzo piano and stay at mezzo piano the first time through the final strain. Same people that tacit during the trio, you will tacit the first time only at measure 102. That's piccolo, E-flat clarinet, trumpets, trombone, and cymbals. Alto sax 1, I think your part may say second time only. That's a typo, ignore it. Trombones, you play the first ending. Tuba, there's a couple spots in this section where your part splits into top and bottom notes. For now, try to play the bottom. If I manage to get more than one tuba player, then we'll talk. And then, what was the next thing? I lost my spot in the thing. Okay, measure 117, we repeat all the way back to measure 87. Everyone back in is written. This time at measure 100 and 101, we will be crescendoing from loud to really loud. Everyone plays as written this time. This is the grand finale. This should be the loudest section of the piece. Go big or go home. When we get to that second ending, make sure you give that last note a good, strong accent. Whew. And I think that's it. Everybody look over your music. If you have other questions, now is the time. Type them in the chat. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties. But in the meantime, I just want to say I hope you guys all have fun with this. It really is a shame how much of this activity has been taken away by the pandemic, and I hope that you all can get something out of this. I don't want this to be a chore. I don't want this to be homework. We're here for a good time, but keep in mind that if not enough people send in videos, there's not much I can do. So please bring your family, bring your friends. We're all going to have a great time with this. And yeah, I'll give a couple more minutes. Type any questions in the live chat. And if you are watching the recording and you have questions, then leave them in the comments. Again, I am so sorry for the technical difficulties, but we made it through. Do I have anything else? Yeah. Again, like I said in the first part, please don't wait to sign up on the spreadsheet. Because the more empty that sheet is, the less people want to put their name on there. Again, you don't have to put your last name. Your last initial is fine. But yeah, make sure you're signing up on that spreadsheet sooner rather than later. All right, well, if there are no questions, I will end the stream here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave comments or message me on Twitter or Instagram if you have questions. The links for those are in the description down below. And have a really great time with this. I will see you real soon. Deadline to submit is March 31st, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. See you guys soon.